Hello again, everybody. It's Tim with Almost True Media. The date is June the 18th, 2015. Listening to the Glenn Beck program today, was telling my wife that I had heard a gentleman on there talking about how he felt that it was really some kind of phenomenon. He acknowledged the Trump phenomenon of how he's sweeping the country, how he'll probably turn most states blue, flip them and turn them blue, how he hasn't needed, the usual support system of money and attaboys and backroom deals and sleaze that's rampant in Washington, D.C. And all through our government, unfortunately, the corruption. And although he admired that and said that even some of his friends were passionate Trump followers and very passionate about the issues that we as Trump followers and Trump supporters are about those issues, he said that he felt that he questioned why people like himself were bullied all the time on social media, day in, day out. He said relentlessly, and he began to sound like a crybaby millennial or just a wet nursing, nanny stated, 50 years or under type of guy. But some interesting things that I noted from that, he said, am I truly, first thing he did was he tried to pull back, he tried to take possession of his vote. And he said, it's not Trump's vote until I give it to him. Well, obviously. And he said, he never had it to begin with. Okay, obviously, this is still like Bill Kristol, from National Review. This is still sour grapes and silliness, petulance, and I mean, they can stamp their feet all they want, but for once we're in the driver's seat, and this is going to happen. So I'll pull a real quickly. Let me get off script. I'll give a George H.W. Bush for you real quickly. There will be this new world order, and we will be successful. That's for you, George. But at any rate, so this gentleman goes on to talk about he said, I want to be able to look at my children or my grandchildren someday and say, I did the right thing by not voting in this election. I had my principles. And that's what he said he felt like his big problem was that the possibility that his principle or principles would be denied him and other voters because essentially a vote of, staying at home and not voting is a vote for Hillary. And he said that he hated her guts, but he just couldn't in good conscience support Trump. So he said, he just sounded like, well, he was talking about, I can't vote for Trump. So if I don't vote for Trump, I'm voting for Hillary. If I don't vote for Hillary, I'm voting for Trump. And he said, so I'm even denied my principles because if I stay home and I don't vote, period, and go on my principles, I'm essentially voting for Hillary. Yes, you would be. So, these are two thoughts I had. Men and women like this guy had all of their shot at principles going on principle that they need and that they're going to have with the last 8 years of Obama. Now, you were basically allowed to toy with principles and following your heart, and your dreams, and your principles, and your whatever. But you got to do that for 8 years, and you guys have got us right on the precipice. And everybody knows this is the most important election, certainly since Reagan or Kennedy, and possibly of all time, because everybody knows that the country is in dire straits, and we are in very, very serious critical trouble in a number of ways, and our enemies know it as well. So if this gentleman and other people like him don't vote this time, this is what I would say. My advice to you would be this, that I think if it ever becomes known in the future that you did not participate in this election process come this November, that you will be vilified for the rest of your life, and it will follow you to the open grave. Because the country, I can't guarantee this, but I do think there is a good possibility that if Hillary Clinton becomes president, this country will be it will be catastrophic, apocalyptic mess. So I think if it ever becomes known that this gentleman or men and women like him do not participate in the election process come this November, you are looking at a lifetime of vilification that will follow you to the grave. You will be ostracized, and if you think the abuse is bad now, and if you think the abuse has been bad in the past 8 years for Obama, I would strongly urge you to think again. Think twice about this one, folks. This is probably the most important election in history, or since Reagan or Kennedy. This is a big one, and possibly the biggest one of all time. All right, folks, stay armed, and peace if you can find it.